Did you miss me? Yeah. I'm supposed to be on vacation, but I see all of this stuff going on with the Cowboys. I see all of this stuff circulating with the NFL. I see so much stuff going on in the world of sports. And then I looked at my man Mike T and my man Chris Canty. And then I looked at my girl Molly and I said, they really do miss me. Are you gonna be a team player and come off a vacation? I aim to please. The people have asked for me. Why would I disappoint? First takes in halves.
Hey, who's better than us? Look at S.A. giving the people what he wants from his Godfather chair. Great to have you back with us, Stephen A. We missed you, and now you're stuck with us. I got Micah P. and Chris Canty all warmed up. How's everybody's weekend?
Doing pretty good. Good weekend? Yeah, exactly.
Feeling good?
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
What's up, fellas?
Hydrated.
What's going on, fellas?
Not much, Stephen. They trying to stay cool, man.
Is everybody all right?
We all can't be you, and we're all in New York.
All I'm trying to say is this. Well, listen, here's the deal. First things first, Mike T. I'm very disappointed in you. And I see you with your damn suit on. Molly, you can tell me what damn color that is from CC. But the bottom line is this. You didn't say you miss me, fellas. You didn't say it, and that's how you feel it.
Stephen, I'm going to be honest. I slightly feel like you're haunting us right now, like in a living room coming out of that frame. It's very Charlie's Angels. It's just a lot for me to take in right now.
That's not the frame I should be in. It should be bigger. It should be bigger, but we'll talk about that later. We'll get that adjustment. It should be bigger. There should be a bigger screen for me. But
the only thing that looks bigger right now are Micah's biceps over there.
Yeah, and that's where we're going to go right now, guys. We kick things off in Dallas where fans are not happy. Micah Parsons has a prominent ally on his side during his ongoing contract extension dispute with the team, Cowboys fans. Fans that attended the Cowboys opening day ceremony at training camp let team owner Jerry Jones know exactly where they stood on the Parsons issue Saturday. Let's take a listen to the fans.
I was shocked. I was shocked last year when we ended up with the record that we had. I never saw that coming. A lot of changes out here, a lot of coaching changes, a lot of player changes. They're going to be Dallas Cowboys of the year 2025.
Oh, Stephen A., that's your boy Jerry. All right. Jerry would then respond to the fans chanting, later saying, quote, I heard it light, but not compared to how I heard them say pay lamb last year. That was a faint little sound compared to the way they were hollering last year, pay lamb. Stephen Jones also chimed in on things and where they stand with Micah Parsons, saying it doesn't change anything. We want to pay Micah too. He's got to want to be paid too. Okay, Southern Steve. Oh, there you are. There you are on the screen, Stephen A. We pale in comparison to you. Don't worry. Tell me this. Do you have a bigger issue with Jerry or Stephen's comments regarding Micah?
Well, I think the first thing to say is this. I reckon my big problem is with Stephen Jones. I want to point that out. Now let me get rid of Southern Steve and get back to reality. I don't know what's wrong with the Jones family right now. We've seen Jerry Jones say some crazy things last season. But what Stephen Jones said about Micah Parsons in terms of he has to want to get paid, I think that's an egregious statement. What does 52.5 sacks equate to over your first 4 years? What does 112 quarterback hits equate to over your first 4 years? What does your perennial Pro Bowl status equate to over 4 years? I mean, having at least 12 sacks over the last 4 seasons, the only person that has been in that realm, you guys know this better than me, CC and Mike T, is the late, great Reggie White. That's it. That's the only person that has that distinction. Micah Parsons is elite. The brother is big time. He's special, and he's young, approaching the prime of his career, some would argue, as opposed to already having been there. That's not the case. This brother is rising and rising and rising. And so when you look at that distinction right there, as you put up on the screen, with a Myles Jarrett, with a TJ Watt, and then you think about what Micah Parsons brings to the table. Once again, this is the Achilles heel that serves to be to the extreme detriment of a Jerry Jones. And here it is. It's the Cowboys. And because the brand is so big, that disgusting, nauseating fan base that gets on my last damn nerves because you can't escape them like if a nuclear bomb dropped, 3 things would exist. It would survive rats, roaches, and a Cowboy fan. Those people, you understand? Because you know you have that fan base that will never dissipate. No matter where you go throughout this country, the bottom line is because of that, you get to take him for granted. You get to take everybody for granted. You can play games and procrastinate and compromise your own cap situation, which you can speak to, Mike T. The fact is, Jerry Jones has been victim to that. And I say victim because it's 30 years now. 30. Where you have not won a Super Bowl, you haven't made it to a Super Bowl. In fact, you haven't made it to an NFC championship game. You haven't made it beyond the divisional playoff round since I was in my 20s. Think about that. This is bad, y'all. This is bad. And now you got Micah Parsons here. And this brother is elite. It's big time. Jerry Jones needs to get his act together. But as egregious as his actions have been, it's nothing compared to what Stephen Jones said. I respect Stephen Jones. I still owe him a drink for crying out loud. But that is one of the most ignorant statements I've ever heard come out of the mouth of an executive. He has to want to get paid. What is it about Micah Parsons that you have seen that has said he doesn't want to get paid? Missed 4 games last year due to a high ankle sprain. The brother shows up. Played 50 of the first 51 games of his career. The brother shows up, and he's big time. He not only deserves his paper, he deserves better respect than the owner and the co-owner and COO, that is Stephen Jones, is giving him. Respect to you, my brother. But if it wasn't for your daddy, would you be a CEO, a COO in the NFL? Would you be? Did you want the job? Did you earn it? Come on now. Let's go. Hey, I'm back. I'm back. It's the truth. It's the truth. I ain't knocking it. I ain't knocking it. You understand? I ain't knocking it. Every parent is entitled to look out for their child. But it's important that the child recognizes you were born on third base. Don't act like you hit a triple. And that's what needs to be said here. Stephen Jones don't have any right to be saying something like that to Micah Parsons. Respectfully, sir. And I respect Stephen Jones. But that was crossing the line. You got no right to say that about him. None.
Stephen A. didn't mince words, Canty.
Yeah, I don't even know how you follow up with what Stephen A. Smith just said, but I co-sign on his sentiment, right? I have much more of an issue with what Stephen Jones said than what Jerry Jones said. No disrespect to the stature of Jerry in this league and what he's done with the branding of the Dallas Cowboys, but let's call it what it is. Jerry Jones is a showman. Adam Schefter last week called him the P.T. Barnum of the NFL. And quite frankly, Jerry Jones is 82 years old. He ain't buying Green Bananas. He's in the fourth quarter. Anybody that's had experience with your elders, they know they will do and say almost anything at that stage in their life. That's just what it is. I deal with my parents every single day, so I should know. When it comes to Stephen Jones's comments about Micah's gotta wanna be paid, this is a player that told us last year that he was looking to get a contract extension done when he was first extension eligible, right? This is somebody that talked about getting paid $35, $36, $37 million a year if they would have done the deal last year. Coming into this offseason, that should have been the top priority for the Dallas Cowboys. But instead, they decided to engage in a protracted contract negotiation, and they saw the edge rusher market be reset 3 times over, right? From TJ Watt to Max Crosby to Myles Garrett. So it's absolutely ridiculous that Stephen Jones would try to sell us that the Dallas Cowboys have a market-setting deal on the table for Micah Parsons, and he doesn't want to accept it. It insults our intelligence. And that's why I have much more of an issue with what Stephen Jones said versus what Jerry Jones said.
Yeah, Chris, I have a real issue with what Jerry Jones said last week. And look, Stephen, I know you were load managed last week, so let me get you caught up on a few things. Last week, Dak Prescott and Jerry Jones actually inversed themselves. Dak Prescott spoke like an owner about, we want to win the Super Bowl. That's where we're focused. And then you had Jerry Jones talking about injury risk, and we paid some players, and they weren't quite healthy. He sounded like a GM. And you want the owner to set the course on the entire organization. And when Jerry Jones is talking about injuries, guys, that is not what the people in the locker room want to hear. And look, if the 4 of us were running the Dallas Cowboys, fundamentally, when you have a productive first-round pass rusher, you sign him as quickly as possible. And last year, the highest paid defensive end was Nick Bosa at $34 million. They cost themselves at least $7 million a year in terms of where the market is taken. For context, guys, when DeMarcus Lawrence leaves, Jordan Lewis leaves, or Adam Schefter mentioned last week, right? If you look at CeeDee Lamb, you look at what basically Zeke Elliott got way back when, Dak Prescott, and you can easily find $9 million a year in terms of the premium they paid. What did Derrick Henry make last year from the Ravens? $9 million. So by them strategically waiting, they are hurting themselves. But I was disappointed by Jerry Jones. I always felt as a GM, guys, I had to be the one taking the bullets for the franchise, let the owner kind of be above the fray. And I just thought Jerry was trying to act as a GM when you're the owner of the Dallas Cowboys. Be beyond reproach.
Stephen A?
Well, let me say this. There's a reason that he was acting like the GM instead of the owner, because he knew there were some modifications that needed to take place. Like, you got to improve that offensive line. You got to figure out a way to run the football, not just more, but more effectively. And he knew that last year. I mean, based on what he said, I don't think this is what I would say to you, Mike T, in terms of what Jerry Jones says. He doesn't even realize that when he spoke last week, he was basically making a case against himself for firing Mike McCarthy. Because based on what he was saying, well, why the hell is Mike McCarthy gone and Brian Schottenheimer now your new head coach? Why didn't you keep him? Because you basically pointed to all the things that you didn't do as the owner, the president, the GM. You pointed to those things as a reason for the last season's demise, combined with Dak Prescott obviously going down for those 9 games or so. So if all of those were the reasons why you struggled so much, and you're going to sit up there in training camp, didn't even have the decency to wait till preseason, by the way. Didn't even have the decency to wait till preseason. The brother said it during training camp. Wait until you go out there today and see those changes that we've made. In training camp? Practice? Really? As they was booing them and telling them to pay, or the other day when they was booing them and telling them to pay Micah Parsons. Wait until you see what we do right there on that field during practice. Really? That's where he's at. So it just shows you he's a bit detached from what Dallas Cowboy fans are feeling at this particular moment in time. But most importantly, he's detached from himself and his own actions. Because which one is it? Was Mike McCarthy the problem and it was time for a change? Or were you the problem because you didn't give Mike McCarthy the personnel that he needed? And obviously Mike McCarthy ended up being the scapegoat, but you thought we were going to forget that because you got Brian Schottenheimer there now, who, by the way, hasn't called plays since 2020 in Seattle. Go figure.